Thank you. I was thinking you're going to be like, who is this lady?
It is kind of funny because I do see you in mom mode most of the time. Um,
Yes.
but I mean, you're beautiful either way. So that's a win
Thank
for
you.
you.
I was like doing my mascara and it like got in my eye and I was like, this is why I don't do this out often because I stab myself in the eye. But
Right. That's not fun.
no.
Oh my gosh. Well, I just want to first say thank you so much for doing this for me. It means a lot. I know that you have overcome quite a bit since we've started. And so, yeah, just wanted to give you like the opportunity to share your testimony, your story, just with working in Rise Lifestyle Coaching and just to encourage other women that are that have been through the same struggle that you've been through. Um, and yeah, giving them encouragement for what is possible for them as well. So yeah, we'll just dive right into it. Um,
For sure.
yes, I love it. So obviously, in the past, you've done multiple diets and, it worked, but then you couldn't sustain it. So tell me more about, yeah, what did you struggle with in the past and how did you feel before even like finding me or the program in general?
Yeah. I was kind of thinking back to like I've my weight has always kind of been a issue in my mind since I was like a little kid. And I think that's where it all started. And I needed to like fit into this like perfect image. So
Mm,
um I've tried many different things. Even in high school, I would try different things just because, that's where you get a lot of the pressure. But finally, I tried Weight Watchers and it worked. It was successful, but I didn't follow the program correctly. I honestly probably like um, abused it, if you will, and
mm,
like just took the chunks that I wanted to. Um, I was like, this is a healthy lifestyle change. And then I got to my goal weight for our wedding. And then literally on our honeymoon, I was like so sick because I was just shoveling the food in my mouth. Like I couldn't get enough.
mm.
And then lo and behold, we got pregnant and I gained all of it back plus some. So then I joined again after having our son and was really motivated again, but also took it as like I could maybe like take this program and grow myself on social media and like maybe that's what I needed to do. But what I was putting out online versus what I was doing at home was a lie. It was like two
Mm,
different things. And it
mm,
was like, this is what I want you to see, but like this isn't what I'm actually experiencing.
yeah.
So I lost weight, got pregnant with our daughter, and oh, here it came again. Um, so then after that, I tried Weight Watchers again. I tried um quite a few other ones, Plexus, Shakeology, Isogenics. I tried the pills. I even went to my doctor to get prescription medicine to try to help. But I wasn't changing my food and I wasn't changing my movement. So I thought if
Mm,
I just continued to do the things that I was doing, these diets would just take care of it instead of like it wasn't helping anybody. So that was really where I was before finding you. And then, on Instagram, I would just be scrolling at nighttime, like looking at food posts and like all these other people who are like really inspiring and thinking, like, what am I supposed to do? And the Lord kept telling me, like, I want to be in the center.
mm.
As soon as you let me be in the center of this journey, we will see progress.
Oof,
So I was like,
conviction.
what does that look like? Yeah, yeah. I'm like, well, what does that look like? Like, how do you even start? Like, do I just like Google scriptures that say like fitness and, like that's not like I wasn't like prepared. Like I had brainwashed myself into like what does a diet look like that I didn't even know where to begin. So, I'll never forget whenever I was sitting on the couch and I was probably eating a gross snack and I found one of your posts. And
Wow.
there was just something different about the way that you worded letting the Lord into the journey. Like
Mm,
it was just like absolutely the Lord saying, this is your green light. This is the area we need to go, because you do have the guidance and the support. So
yeah. Wow.
it's
So you
a little bit of a bag,
just just a little bit, little like a
just a
small
little bit.
piece.
Yeah, just a carry-on bag. It's really funny that like even like trying prescription medication, like you think like you go to the doctor and like they help you and they do, but it was like the medication that my doctor gave me, like of course I lost weight, but I also wasn't eating.
Mm,
And like my body like didn't know what to do. Like it was just always in overdrive. And
mm.
so it wasn't actually like nourishing or fulfilling. So
Yeah, so you've been honestly through the ringer. You've been on the yo-yo, like between
oh,
your babies before your wedding. It's like been your whole marriage pretty much of on and off
yeah.
diets. And so my question with that is what changed? Like, obviously the Lord told you like you're doing this, whether you want to or not, kind of a thing. I remember our first call was like, you were like, oh, but then you were like, God told me to do it, so we're gonna do it.
Yeah. Yes. You
So
know what changed? Like what got me to like the point of saying yes?
that, and also with where you're at right now, and like what you've learned in
Mm,
the
mhm.
past 10 or so weeks, however long we've been working together, um, what has changed more than anything that you've experienced in the past?
So I think like for me, it was, the Lord said, do it. And we don't always like follow the Lord wants you to do, but like I was at a very low depressing part of my life and very high anxiety, like constantly going back to my doctor to try like fix medications because my anxiety was through the roof. Um, and I was fine when I was with other people, but then when I got home, I was in such a depressed mentally, physically, emotionally that like I didn't know where to go.
Mm,
So obviously like I joined because I wanted to lose weight and physically heal, but the Lord kept reminding me like it's the mental battle where this all stems from.
yeah.
And so it was kind of the mental side. Even now, like I look back on the last 10 weeks and it's like even when I wasn't focused on the mental battle, that was still healing and that was still processing. So one of the things, actually, I was going to share this with you. So my husband gave me a new Bible for my birthday last year,
Oh yeah.
and him and the kids went through and like took little post-its and like wrote down different things. And
Oh.
so he went to First Peter 3, verse 3 and 4.
Mm,
And that says, let your true beauty come from your inner personality, not a focus on the external. For a lasting beauty comes from a gentle and peaceful spirit, which is precious in God's sight and is much more important than the outward abundance of elaborate hair, jewelry, and fine clothes. And
oh,
a year ago, I was like, yeah, that's a really good verse. But I didn't believe it. Like I didn't view myself as that. Even though he did, I didn't at all.
mm,
And so just like having celebrated my birthday, I opened it back up and I read it and I was like, that's really true. Like my inner beauty has blossomed more than it ever has in my entire life.
that's a huge statement.
Yeah, yeah. It's like and like when it says for lasting beauty comes from a gentle and peaceful spirit, like my anxiety has come way down because I really feel like this peaceful spirit that the Lord has shown has been in me the whole time
Hmm.
is actually getting nourished and
Yeah.
then can blossom.
Mm,
So I feel like the the mental side of this journey has been the most healing thing for me,
wow.
and being through all of the things that I've been through, I really do have a lot of knowledge in terms of like what I need to do diet wise and all that kind of stuff, but actually putting the correct pieces together is
Mm,
what I was missing. So like actually having that center of the mentality to heal, and having the different pieces of like, you have this plus this, you put them all together, and this is the program
Yeah.
to heal you from the inside out, you know?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I really think that that's like one of the biggest things that I've learned. Cause you know, I knew like drink your water and exercise and all that kind of stuff, but it was like, but how do I mentally heal and grow?
Oof. That is so good. And I agree with you. I think, well, from our very first call, you said, I've done all of the things. Why can't it stick? And the reason why it
Yeah.
couldn't stuck is because we were missing the key piece that most programs are missing, which is the mindset. We're not transforming by the renewal of our mind, like scripture tells us to. And so as Christians, of course, we know that, right? On the surface, we know the scripture. By the way, thank you for sharing that. I think that's so beautiful. What uh
Translation,
translation? Yes. It's like what is
the passion translation.
okay. Yeah. I just love how that's worded.
Translation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah, and even though you're like close to 20 pounds down, right? We're right at that cusp. That's not, is that, it's crazy, first of all.
We
Not crazy. I mean,
are.
I'm not surprised, honestly. Like, you've been consistent, and it's not even that you're sacrificing a lot either. Like, you've still had Chick-fil-A, you're still
Yes.
enjoying birthday treats. Like, it's not like you're in this point system or strict diet or anything like that, which is, I'm sure, really cool for you, but the weight isn't even, it wasn't even mentioned in what you just said. And I think that's a
Yeah.
huge estimate of like your growth is
That is so true.
yes.
Oh
And like
my
you didn't
gosh,
even
Faith.
say how much weight you've lost. And I'm like, Emily, you've lost like almost 20 pounds. That's a huge deal. But you were like, nope, it's my mindset. And
Nope.
and that I think also confirms this is from the Holy Spirit because you're focusing on the inward. You're focusing on who is Emily, the best version of Emily, the one who takes care of herself so that she could take care of her kids and her family and have the energy to lead a Bible study and everything that you have going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's
That's really
beautiful.
nuts because all the other programs I was on were so weight focused. You weren't successful if you didn't lose the weight. You weren't working the program if you didn't have like pounds to show. And like the fact that you were like, I mean, I know that I'm like almost 20 pounds, but like hearing you say it, I'm like, what? Like that's like mind blowing to me. Like I know that I did it, but I'm like, and I knew that it wasn't, I knew that if I focused on the scale and I truly like only had that in my mind, I knew that it wouldn't get me to where I wanted to be.
Mm,
So that was like that right there, what you just said to me, like that was like a whole nother healing level.
oof.
A whole nother like,
And this is just an interview.
wow. Wow. Like you get healing even through like the communications and the like the, you know, like I was so excited for our call. Um, like when it got switched, you know, like I was like, it's Wednesday night, and I was like so excited. And then it was like Zach always asked me, he's like, how was the call? And I'm just like, and I'm like, there's women from all over the country who like I've never met in my life, but I would trust them with things that I have to share. You know what I mean? Like I trust these women to be able to like open up and be like, this is what I'm struggling with. This is what I'm going through. Like, could you pray for me? Could you, you know, all these different things. And I'm like, that's hard to find.
Yeah.
And it's hard for women, especially like Christian working mother, wife, having all these titles to also be able to say that I have a community who I can turn to in times of anything, joys, struggles, stress.
Mm.
So that in itself is like, yeah, yeah. I really feel like that's the part that like got me through my birthday. Is it's
Wow.
like, you know, like I did these things for my birthday, but then like being able to like process it and say it out loud was also like, yeah, you know. And honestly, Faith, one thing that I keep thinking of, it was one of my check-ins whenever I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have the peanut butter with my apple for my snack because I was gonna go over. And you said, eat the peanut butter, eat the peanut butter. And I was like, yes, like eat the peanut butter. Like obviously, like don't like, you know, get a cup full,
Sure.
eat the right peanut butter and enjoy that protein, you know? So the other thing with this program is being able to understand my body. Like,
Mm,
I mean, I through the Lord, I brought two children into this world. I nourished them for 9 months, but yet I still didn't understand what my body needed and what my body was desiring. And now that I'm able to like truly stop and think, I'm like, am I hungry or do I just need to get up and like walk around a little bit?
mm,
Am I like, oh, this is a genuine hungry. So if it's before dinner, like let's get something high protein so that way it can stick with you until you get that dinner meal. Like
mm.
that's been like, whoa.
Yeah. And
You think that you would
oh, you go
like
ahead.
you would know your own body. Sorry. You think you would like know your own body, but it's like,
Mm,
I didn't.
wow. Oh, that's hard to say too, especially with how many diets you've done, you know, it's crazy. You would think by now, like, okay, I understand what full feels like, what satisfied feels like, but it's really a mentality. It's becoming aware up here, not just, I don't know, cravings, right? And then
Yes.
people see cravings
Yes.
bad, and it's like, actually, that's your body helping you to tell you this is what I need right now instead of us. Because I think for you, especially in the past with dieting, it's been suppressing that of like, don't give in to your cravings, don't give in to that.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's like now you're aware of, okay, I have this craving. Where's it coming from? Why am I having this craving? Instead of just being like, yes, giving into it or no, don't give into it. Right.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
It was almost like cravings were a negative.
Hmm.
Like it was like a bad thing to have a craving. And like I used cravings as an excuse both pregnancies all the way through.
Yeah.
And honestly, like because of how my mind was all growing up, all the different diets I tried, like I was excited to be pregnant so I could use it as an excuse.
Mm.
Like
Oof.
that's where the baby's craving the ice cream. Well, not a 32-ounce ice cream. Like, and to like sit back and think like I would literally consume that
Mm.
and then wonder why I had a stomach ache. And then wonder why I had to go like take an antacid because of the choices that I just made. Like
Wow.
when you look back, you're like, oh, cravings aren't a bad thing. Cravings are a way to understand and get to know your body.
Preach.
Because like what is a craving? Like your body needs the fuel. So it's gonna be able to tell you in this moment what do we need for this or that. Like, yeah.
Mm.
I'm still learning it, of course,
But you're also
but
learning it so quickly to the point where it's starting to become a normal thought process and cycle and not in an obsessive way. And I think that's the beauty of where you're at is just awareness. That's ultimately what it comes down to is being aware of what your body is telling you. And that way you can make conscious decisions of, okay, this is happening. What am I going to do with it? Instead of just being like,
yeah.
so like, you know, we're going to do this and that and this, you know, it's taking that step back and breathing, you know? Um, and so with that, I'm curious what you would say to people who, you know, they see my content, they're always like, oh, I don't know, should I reach out? I don't know. What would you say to the person who is like on the fence, who's been through all of the diets, or maybe they're like a chronic macro tracker and they just want to learn how to trust their body more? Like, what would you say to that person?
Mm. If you even think about it, you need to activate it and try it. Because if you don't, the person you will be tomorrow could be completely different from where you were yesterday. That
Mm,
one yes. every yes is hard in our life. I mean, to an extent, if you will, but like, if you choose not to say yes for yourself, what are you also keeping yourself from doing that could elevate you to the next level, to the next door, to the next opportunity, to actually fulfilling the life that God wants you to live?
Mm.
What is that yes to join the program? That is just at the tip of the iceberg for what all there is. So my advice would be, if it's a yes, he'll make a way. If you feel it in your heart and you know that you've tried all these other things, there's a reason why it hasn't gone away in your mind,
Mm.
and you just have to do it.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you say yes, everything else falls in place. So, and I think like for women in this society, like there's no shame in the group. There's no like condemnation, there's no like negatives, there's no making you feel bad about choices that you made. It's a, we're in this together. We live in a society that's really hard on us, and so what can we do together to lift each other up and to hold on, and to hold onto your hand when you are in that moment of feeling a little down, because you will feel down, of course,
Yeah.
but having the support and the community to lift you back up so you don't stay down.
Mm. Sounds
So
like the
I think
community. Yeah.
if there's anybody who's like, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should just keep scrolling, maybe I should try something else first. I thought the same thing.
It was
And
a
then
side eye.
4 months passed by. 4 months passed by and I tried like, 3 different diets in that time.
Mhm.
And none were successful.
Mm.
Healing comes from within.
Yeah.
I really believe that. And this program's focus is on the healing within. One thing that you said to me was, you're like, we're not going to focus on the scale. And I was like, what do you mean we're not going to focus on the scale? Like, I'm hiring you as my coach. That way I can focus on the scale. And you're like, that's not where our healing comes from. Okay.
Oof.
Cha-ching.
Wait. Now you're all discombobulated and not sure what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But, and it
Yeah.
wasn't even like hearing success stories from other people. It was like your true, genuine passion to help others in a healthy way, with knowing that God is the center of it all.
Thank you for that. That's super sweet. It is good. And yeah, and bouncing off of that, knowing that the Lord does provide your steps. He's the lamp under your feet. And if he brought you to it, he'll bring you through it, right? So trusting that. And that's a big part of your testimony in this too, of like, you just had to trust God with what he called you to do. Even though it was scary, it was uncomfortable. There was a lot of fear behind it when you joined too. Our first call, like you were so bought in, but you also were like, oh, this is gonna
Uh-huh.
either be really
You
good
probably
or
heard
really bad.
a lot of, okay.
I
My
did.
like, okay, we can do it. Like that was like my like trying to talk myself up. Do you know what's also crazy? So I've been reflecting a lot, and it was August when Zach was like, maybe we need to like start our own small group type thing, like another gathering, because we just don't have a lot of that at our church with like community and stuff. And I was like, no, like that's not for us. Like we have 2 small kids, da 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 da, all these different things. And then like ever since I started this program, I didn't know it until recently that the Lord was like, you're doing this, so this will happen. You're
Whoa.
doing this, so now we can do this. And I've spent more time with the Lord through this program, with the journaling, with just the weekly, like, what is the Lord speaking to you? Where can I help you pray? Like that weekly check-in keeps me like activated in the word.
Mm.
And it keeps me like going back to like all, so finally the Lord was like, okay, you're like, let's do this. Like, let's do this Bible study. And then I know we've talked about it, like, it was kind of like we're just going to keep it really simple. we're going to open up the door. We're going to invite the women in your church because if you're 18 or if you're 99, you still need the word, like you always have room to grow. And so I didn't even realize the timing behind everything and the fact that like I'll be starting this group when I'm wrapping up phase 1. It just like gives me like really excited for what does phase 2 look like.
Oof. Yes.
Like
Yeah.
what did he do in phase 1? And I want to write it all down. What did he do in phase 1 where he's also opening up those doors for me? Like how long was he knocking at that door for me to open?
Right. Could you
And I
imagine?
just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, where would you be now if you didn't say yes almost 3 months ago? Right?
Oh
Like,
my God.
who knows? Like, this might not even,
I don't even.
yeah. And with what you're saying of it pouring into other areas of your life, it's not just about the fitness or the weight loss or even about you. It's about what God is doing through you for others to grow his kingdom. And ultimately,
Yes.
that's our job. Even for me as a fitness coach, like my job isn't to help people lose weight. It's for them to grow more in their relationship with Jesus. And when they do that, they become a healthier version of them. And that's like such an honor, when you think of that. I'm like, man, Jesus trusts me with that. And even with you, with what you're doing. Like,
Yeah.
whoa. So anyways, I could definitely go on a tangent, but just to kind of wrap this up, what else would you add to this? Any last like comments, thoughts, like with where you're at, what you've learned, anything else for people that, again, are on the fence?
I will say my children are noticing a difference. My children see mommy work out. So my daughter will also work out with me or those different things. And my son will be like, oh, this isn't as healthy. So let's have less of this and more of that, even though we're still working on, the picky eating. The fact that people are seeing a difference, not physically in Emily. I mean, my closest friends have, of course, but the fact that they see a difference in me is just an absolute testimony in itself. Like the Emily who was depressed and anxious all the time and always asking for prayers of, when I'm in my moments and my feelings, and for them to be like, whoa, tell me more about this coach that you have. Tell me more about this program you've started. And the fact that like I get to start with saying it's focused around Jesus. It's focused around what the Lord wants us to get from him is a yes times 1,000 in itself. So I've spoken more from our stage at church than I ever have in my life. And I've never really been that person. I mean, I'm always in the back. I mean, having the kids, I was always in the back. Like, I'll just stay back here. And now he's activated his voice through me to be able to share with the congregation different things. Sorry. And even with that, it's like, wow, sharing that a simple yes even may not be simple for you in the moment, but like it's a simple yes that will change your life. Do you want your life to change? Are you ready to actually get what you want? Because this program will do that for you.
Wow.
I believe that.
That's so good. There's just so many things for your life, and this is only scratching the surface. And we know that this is just the beginning. Like,
yeah,
where you're going to be in December. Oh my gosh. So it's just so cool to think about. And we're only in February. So I'm getting February myself. But
yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
You're welcome.
To do all this for me. I love you so much. Genuinely. Yes. I can't wait to meet you in person one day. It's kind of sad that we're like,
my gosh.
Yeah.
It's going to be insane. Like if it's in a public place, like alert somebody because they're going to think that we're like off our rockers. We'll be jumping, screaming, hugging.
Can't wait for the day. Honestly.
It'll just be a party. Like,
oh, for sure. Oh,
parties happen.
I can't wait. Well, thank you
I
so
will too.
much. I will let you go, and obviously we'll talk on WhatsApp and whatnot. But again, thank you so much. This was so
I'll tell
encouraging.
you that I am super excited for our date tonight because I'm not focused around the meal. I am not focused around the meal. I am
Let's
not
go.
at all.
Woo!
Zach's gonna pick the restaurant. He was like, "It's your birthday dinner," and I'm like, "You can pick the restaurant. I just want to go." One of our things with like when we were dating was like moseying around TJ Maxx. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just want to go to TJ Maxx. And I forgot that like I still have a little bit of Christmas money. And so the Lord was like, I want you to buy yourself a brand new item of clothing. Like I'm like a garage sailor, thrift store, all that kind of stuff. He was like, I want you to get yourself, and not like a sweatshirt or a t-shirt like Emily's in 90% of the time. He's like, I want you to get yourself a new piece of clothing.
Bet.
So I'm gonna send you a picture.
Please do. Go try them
I
on.
will. I will. I will. I'll be in the Zach, can you film me
Yeah.
trying on all my clothes for you to see? He'll be like, who are you sending that to? Faith.
Who do you think?
Right. There.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Kids.
You do that. That is
I'm
so
excited.
really
Really
fun.
excited.
And keep us updated with your, obviously you post in the group. Keep us updated with your birthday dinner, what you get, send pictures. We love food pictures.
Oh,
I mean,
yes, I will. I need to actually, I was gonna sit down here and catch up on stuff because I haven't looked at those messages yet today. So
now you're good.
I'll do it.
Yes.
I'll do it.
Yay. Okay, I can't
Thank
wait.
you so much.
Thank you, Emily. Yes, of course.
You're
Okay.
so welcome.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.